Now I've been meaning to do the upgrade to the 606 expansion pack on my TR-8 for quite some time. It was released in June this year, and it's now September, so there's been a number of months. Now I've been busy, I've been doing other things, I've had lots of things going on in my other lives, if you like, so I just haven't really got down to spending the time to do this sort of stuff. What was really interesting though was when I actually went looking for the expansion pack, what I found was I couldn't find it. So if you go to the Roland website and you go to support products and drivers and you search for the TR-8, what you'll see is you'll see a firmware version on the TR-8 of 1.1.2. Now that's not the firmware version for the expansion pack. So if you then go and do some more research, what you then find is that you have to actually go to the expansion pack itself. So you have to search for the 707, 727 expansion pack. And on there you'll find a bunch of notes. One of the things it says is that you need the expansion pack installed to install the latest version of the firmware. So it means you have to go and spend the €110, I think it is, to purchase the expansion pack, install the expansion pack before you can upgrade the firmware to the next version of the firmware, which also gives you the 606 sounds. The second thing you find is that the only reference I can find to the upgraded firmware, which is 1.2, is from the 707 expansion pack website. So you have to go to the 707 expansion pack. There you will find a link to an updated driver set. And in that updated driver set you'll find a number of things. The first you'll find is the firmware, which is 1.2, which is what I'm going to install because that gives me the 606. The second thing you find in there is updated drivers for the Mac and the Windows machines. So depending on which platform you're running on, it's probably worthwhile you installing those as well. So it seems to me that the original firmware, which I said is 1.1.2, will not be now upgraded unless you have an expansion pack installed on your TR-8. Now whether they're going to bring the things back together again, I don't know. I can't see how they can run two completely different software streams. I work in the software industry, and believe me, trying to run multiple versions is a nightmare across just two multiple versions. So how Roland are going to manage this going forward, I do not know. However, this is how you install the new firmware update. So in order to upgrade the firmware on the TR-8, what we need to do is we need to put the TR-8 into a mode that is receptive for an update. First thing to do, switch the unit off. Count to 10, hold down pad 1 and switch the unit back on. The unit is now in an upgrade mode, ready to accept an upgrade. You know this because according to the instructions, the blinking lights happen between BD and RC. Next thing to do is install the USB cable into the back of the unit, like so. And now what you can see is that pad 1 is blinking and the BD light is blinking. That means it's now ready to accept the update. It also means on your computer a drive should now be available there to actually install the update to. Now we move to the computer. So off screen what I did was I went to the Roland website and I grabbed hold of the 1.2 TR-8 upgrade, and that's now been expanded on the screen in front of me. Now what I need to do is I now need to put that onto the TR-8, and as you can see with my mouse, the TR-8 is now exposing itself as a drive on my computer. And Roland are always very specific about copying, drag and drop the file rather than copy and paste. So there you go, I've moved it, and if I click on that you can see now the TR-8 is now available on my device. I'm now going to disconnect the device from the computer by ejecting it. Now that the TR-8 update is now installed on the TR-8 itself, we need to disconnect it physically from the computer. We do that by pulling the USB cable out as follows. Now what you will have noticed is that now pad 2 is flashing on the unit, which means that it's now in the next part of its upgrade mode. Now what we need to do is effectively we need to start the upgrade process, and we start the upgrade process by simply pressing pad 2. And now you can see the pads will start to blink in progression, and the upgrade is now starting to move. You'll also notice that the process or the percentage complete is done by the scatter buttons on this particular unit. And they're slowly counting their way round from 1 to 10. Now that all the buttons, the pads and the buttons BD through RC are blinking, that's telling me the update has been completed. So in order to ensure the update has been completed, first of all we turn the unit off, count to 10, and turn the unit back on, but again this time holding down pads 14 and 16 to put it into system mode. And in order to work, make sure the upgrade has gone through, we press start, and as you can see the tempo window is now reading 120, which means that 1.2 is now successfully installed on the TR-8. Now all we have to do is turn the unit off, again count to 10, and switch the unit back on. And as you can see, it's now saying 606 in the window. We now have the 606 sounds loaded onto this machine as well.
I've been told it helps the channel out greatly if you hit the like button if you enjoyed the contents of this video. If you want to be notified about future videos that may be made for the channel, please hit the subscribe button.